in our pickup bed here, one there and one there. Obviously, they were used for the original battery hold downs, I'm assuming, but we're going to use them for our hold down. Our battery goes in here like so. It's away from the seat. It's away from everything else. And the deal is, you don't want a battery flopping around, so you need a hold down. You can pick these up in lawnmower shops and auto parts stores. Set of J-hooks. They just come up through the bottom and they hook on like that. We've got our little retainer that comes across the top. This is rubber, it stretches. When that's bolted in, it'll make a nice, secure battery hold down. I'll just slide this other J-hook up and hook it up.
All right, Sam, we got the engine all ready here for you. Hey, it cleaned up pretty good.
Yeah, not a bad job. What do you think?
Well, it looks great. What about, you don't have the seat on there yet. How's it going?
I was busy with the battery. I'm on the electrical system. You got the solenoid, battery cable, battery secure. What do you want?
You're falling behind here.
Come on, let's just tuck this thing in here.
Okay, now I got the pulley on here, got that measured down the proper amount. That way all the belts and everything will line up. So we're about ready to go here, Sam.
All right, got a couple bolts. Let's set it in.
All right.
One down.
Sit on here, make sure the bracket lines up here.
Boy, look at that, right in the original footprint. Look at that. Got this one in.
Got it?
Yep, and then I'll put this one here in.
Okay.
You're on your own. I'm going to go wire the column.
All right. And while I was at it, went ahead and put a new muffler on it too, so everything is new on this engine. I'll go ahead and bolt this down. We'll be ready to go here shortly.
Okay, now we've got a lot of work to do on our cowling here. This is going to support a lot of stuff in our wiring. First thing we've got is an ignition switch. The ignition switch will go right through here, and it's held on by a screw-on bezel. That way we can have access to starter and so on. Right next to it, we'll put a light switch for our headlights. Got a little rocker switch here. We'll have to bore a hole right here in the case. Okay, and to monitor the battery, we're going to use a voltmeter. Now, the voltmeter, we've already got a hole for it. That'll mount right in here like so. We have a cover that goes on the back. We'll have the wires to it. And then, of course, we've got the two headlights we're going to add to this thing, and they've got a little stud that mounts them right here. And we'll drill a hole up here in the support. They'll go through and put a nut on them from behind. Now, this thing you have to remove to get access to the engine. There's a couple bolts, and this comes off. Remove the steering wheel, of course. So you want to be able to disconnect the wires. Here's a way to make a quick disconnect for wires. Use a good old waterproof trailer connector. A couple of these, and you've got all the wires you need so you can disconnect it when you take the cowling up to access the engine. Now I'll get to work putting this together. Okay, to mount this ignition switch, we have a large internal star washer that goes on. Orient these in the vertical position, put it through the hole, put on the retaining bezel, and just tighten it up. To install the light switch, I center punched it. I'm going to drill a pilot hole, and then I'll follow it up with the right size drill bit. Okay, next I'm going to install a little rocker switch here for the lights. It's held on by this little nut in the back, slides right through the hole I drilled. Put the nut on it and tighten it up. All right, next to install our voltmeter, all we need to do is slip it through the hole here, position it in the dash, slip our retainer on the back, and a couple of nuts, and that holds that thing in place. Okay, now, we'll just mount this light through here. If you have any fender washers, those will work real well. Got some good washers here to go on the back. That way it'll keep the sheet metal from breaking. Put these on here, and then I'll just tighten it up. That's it, pal.
All right, got mine done up.
Yep.
Okay, that pretty well takes care of that as far as I'm concerned. Well, what do you think? It looks pretty good. Got everything together. Got new skid pads right here so Pop's feet won't fall off of it. Got the seat mounted up here. He'll be like that. That'll be a lot more comfortable. Other than that, it looks pretty good, Sam.
That's great. Well, I've got the complete electrical system wired. With the exception of the voltmeter, I've got to run a couple wires to the battery. Speaking of the battery, back here, you can see what I did. I ran a ground wire from the negative side of the battery to the chassis. I've grounded the switch and the engine to the chassis. You want to do that, make sure you use a fuse and everything you wire. And don't forget to put the motor oil in. That'd be the worst thing to leave out.
No kidding. Only thing left now is we got to put our deck on here so he can mow, and I suspect the way this thing works, he'll probably want to mow another acre. Let's see what it sounds like.
Oh, man, it sounds
great. See if
great.
you got it working right.
Hey, set the throttle, watch this. Can't beat that, can you? Look at that. Everything works great.
It works pretty nice. He's going to like that. I swear, I think you'll never get him off of it now. The only problem is my lawnmower's still sitting out there. We haven't even touched it. We did this. We did the neighbors.
That's right. And guess what? I'm going home. I'll tell you what, you're on your own.
Just my luck. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll show you some new products, so stay with us.
I will see you tomorrow.
That's what I thought you would do. Hey, help me put this deck on.
All right.
4 out of every 5 American homeowners mow their own lawn.